Some bird species are known for their beauty, grace, and majesty, but those aren't the birds we're focusing on today. Instead, we're diving into the nightmares of the avian world.
Hey! Hey!
The feathered beasts that are more than just intimidating.
He's trying to get me! What are we gonna do? Carl!
Equipped with deadly weapons, fierce hunting techniques, and surprising adaptations, these birds reign as true aerial predators. What exactly are these winged terrors capable of? Join us as we uncover the 20 most dangerous birds in the world. Number 20. Griffon vulture. The griffon vulture, also called Gyps fulvus, is one of the biggest birds of prey in Europe. Its wings stretch out over 9 feet, and it can weigh as much as 29 pounds. You'll mostly find this giant scavenger in open lands and mountains across southern Europe, North Africa, and some parts of Asia. Unlike hawks or eagles that hunt live animals, the griffon vulture survives by eating dead ones. It has incredible eyesight and can spot a carcass from about 3 miles away. If an animal is too weak to move or close to death, these vultures sometimes start eating before it even stops breathing, making them quite intimidating in the wild. Their bald heads and long necks help them reach deep inside carcasses without getting messy, which makes them great at cleaning up nature's leftovers. When they find food, large groups of them gather, often leading to chaotic feeding frenzies. While they are usually quiet birds, they make loud noises like squawking and grunting while eating. Even though they are massive, they depend on rising warm air to glide smoothly across the sky without wasting too much energy. They don't attack people, but in rare cases, they have been seen scavenging human corpses or preying on dying farm animals, which worries some farmers when food is scarce. Number 19. The cassowary. The cassowary, often called a living dinosaur, is one of the most dangerous birds on the planet. It lives in the thick tropical forests of northern Australia, New Guinea, and nearby islands. This giant flightless bird can grow as tall as 6 feet 6 inches and weigh up to 132 pounds. With its bright blue face, helmet-like crest, and powerful legs, the cassowary is impossible to miss and can be quite intimidating. Even though it mostly eats fruit, it won't pass up a meal of fungi, insects, small animals, or even dead creatures if it finds them. What makes the cassowary so deadly is the built-in weapon on each foot, a sharp dagger-like claw on its inner toe that can grow as long as 4 inches. If it feels threatened, this bird can jump into the air and deliver a powerful kick that can rip through flesh with a single strike. This claw is sharp enough to cut open arteries, pierce organs, and even remove limbs. Unlike most birds that can't fly, cassowaries are incredibly fast. They can run at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour, jump over obstacles, and even swim across rivers with ease. Cassowaries usually avoid people, but they have been known to attack, and in some cases, those attacks have been deadly. Most happen when humans try to feed them or when they feel their babies are in danger. Out of 221 reported cassowary attacks, 150 were against humans, leading to 7 severe injuries and 1 death before the year 2019. Number 18. The red warbler. The red warbler, or Cardellina rubra, is a bright-colored songbird that lives in the high forests of Mexico. It mostly stays in areas filled with oak, fir, and pine trees. Even though it looks small and harmless, this little bird has a powerful way of protecting itself. It carries natural toxins in its body that make it taste terrible and even dangerous to predators. Because of these poisons, most animals avoid eating it, which helps the red warbler stay safe in the wild. Scientists believe the bird's toxins might come from its diet, just like poison dart frogs that get their poison from the insects they eat. While experts are still figuring out exactly how the red warbler becomes toxic, people have known for centuries that it is not safe to eat. Indigenous groups, including the Aztecs, were aware that this bird was not fit for food. Even though some of its forest home has been destroyed, the red warbler's ability to keep predators away with its chemical defense has helped its population remain steady. Unlike hawks or other birds that use strength and sharp claws to survive, the red warbler doesn't need to fight. Instead, it relies on the poison in its body to keep enemies at bay, making it one of the few birds that use natural toxins to defend itself. Number 17. The harpy eagle. The harpy eagle is one of the strongest and most fearsome birds of prey on Earth. With its bold look and unmatched power, this massive eagle rules the treetops. Its wings can spread as wide as 7 feet, and it can weigh as much as 20 pounds. Unlike some other eagles that soar high in the sky, the harpy eagle has broad wings that help it weave through dense forests with ease. It lives in the thick rainforests of Central and South America, especially in the Amazon basin. One of its most eye-catching features is the tall crest of feathers on its head, which it raises when alert, making it look almost mythical. It also has a sharp, hooked beak, perfect for tearing through meat. The harpy eagle got its name from the harpies in Greek mythology, who were creatures that were part bird, part human. But unlike the noisy spirits of legend, this eagle hunts in silence, using stealth instead of sound to take down its prey. Harpy eagles mainly hunt tree-dwelling mammals, with sloths and monkeys being their favorites. They have an incredibly strong grip, squeezing with a force of up to 530 pounds per square inch, enough to snap bones instantly. When hunting, they swoop down with precise aim, using their massive claws, which can grow as long as 5 inches, to snatch their prey right out of the trees. Sometimes they also go after deer, iguanas, and snakes, eating part of their catch right away before taking the rest back to their huge nests high in the treetops. Number 16. Mute swan. The mute swan may look graceful, but it is actually one of the most aggressive water birds out there. Originally from Europe and parts of Asia, it was later introduced to North America. This large bird becomes extremely territorial, especially when it is nesting. With a wingspan that stretches over 7 feet and a weight that can reach 32 pounds, the mute swan is not just big, it is also fiercely protective and will attack anything it sees as a threat, including humans. There is a common myth that a swan can break a person's arm with its wings, but while that is unlikely, their strong wing beats and aggressive nature can still cause serious harm. Male swans, called cobs, are the most aggressive. When fighting off rivals, they will push them underwater in an attempt to drown them. They are also known for chasing away other birds and sometimes even harming the environment by eating too much vegetation. Their diet includes underwater plants, small fish, frogs, insects, and mollusks, making them opportunistic eaters that can have a big impact on their surroundings. Most of the time, mute swans will just try to scare humans by charging at them, but in rare cases, they can be deadly. One of the most shocking incidents happened in the year 2012 in Chicago, when a territorial swan attacked a man in a kayak. The swan flipped over the kayak, and when the man tried to swim to shore, the bird blocked his way until he eventually drowned. Though such attacks are rare, this case shows how dangerous swans can be when they feel threatened. Number 15. The emu. Emus are giant, flightless birds from Australia, only smaller than the ostrich. They can grow as tall as 6 feet and weigh up to 120 pounds. Even though its tiny wings are almost useless, its strong legs make up for it. This bird can run as fast as 30 miles per hour, and those same legs are powerful enough to deliver a kick that could seriously injure a predator or even a person who gets too close. One of the most unusual battles between humans and emus happened in the year 1932 in what is now called the Emu War. A huge number of emus started invading farms in Western Australia, eating crops and destroying land. The government sent soldiers with machine guns to deal with the problem, but things did not go as planned. The emus were too fast, dodging the bullets and running in unpredictable patterns. After wasting a lot of ammunition and failing to control the birds, the mission was called off, making it seem like the emus had won. Even though emus do not usually attack people, they can be dangerous if they feel trapped or scared. Their powerful legs and sharp claws can leave deep cuts, and since they are so fast, It is hard to outrun them if they decide to chase. They are naturally curious and sometimes approach humans looking for food. As opportunistic eaters, they mostly consume plants, seeds, and insects, but they will eat small animals if they come across them. Number 14. The bearded vulture. The bearded vulture, also called the lammergeier, is one of the most fascinating and misunderstood birds of prey. It lives in high mountain areas across Europe, Africa, and Asia, and because of its fierce look, many people mistakenly think it hunts livestock or even attacks humans. But that is not true at all. Bearded vultures mostly eat bones, making them one of the most unusual animals in the world. About 80% of what they eat is bone, and their super strong stomach acid can break down even the hardest bones in just one day. Unlike other vultures that feed on soft flesh, these birds go straight for the bone marrow. They often search for leftover carcasses abandoned by bigger predators. If they find a bone too big to swallow, they have a clever trick. They fly high into the air and drop it onto rocks to smash it into smaller, bite-sized pieces. They even use this same method to break open turtles or lizards when they occasionally eat them. This shows how smart and adaptable they are. Their unique look makes them stand out even more. Unlike most vultures that have bald heads, bearded vultures have full, feathered heads and a dark patch under their beaks that looks like a beard. Their bright orange-red feathers are also unusual, but they are not naturally that color. These birds actually rub themselves in soil rich in iron, turning their feathers a deep rusty shade. Scientists believe this behavior is a way for them to show off, with the most colorful birds often being the most dominant. Number 13. The hooded pitohui. The hooded pitohui, a colorful songbird from New Guinea, has a shocking secret. It is one of the few birds in the world, and on this list, that is poisonous. Its bright orange and black feathers act as a warning sign, just like how certain snakes or poison dart frogs use their colors to scare off predators. Scientists first learned about this bird's toxicity when a researcher caught one, then accidentally touched his face. Moments later, his lips went numb. After running tests, they found that the bird's body contained batrachotoxin, a powerful poison also found in deadly poison dart frogs. Surprisingly, the hooded pitohui does not make this toxin on its own. Instead, it gets it from the food it eats. These birds mainly feed on a type of beetle that contains batrachotoxin, and over time, the poison builds up inside their bodies. This makes them taste horrible, or even deadly to anything that tries to eat them. The toxin is not just in their feathers, but also in their skin, muscles, and even their eggs, making them one of the few birds that are truly poisonous. Although they are not aggressive, simply touching one can cause a burning or tingling feeling on the skin, which is nature's way of warning others to stay away. This strange discovery has led scientists to compare the pitohui to toxic frogs from South America, opening up new questions about how different animals have evolved to protect themselves using chemical defenses. Number 12. Martial eagles. The martial eagle is the strongest eagle in Africa, standing out for its massive size, impressive hunting skills, and striking looks. It is the biggest eagle in Africa and ranks as the 5th largest in the world when it comes to body size and wingspan. This powerful bird can be found all over sub-Saharan Africa, usually living in open woodlands, savannas, and semi-dry areas. It often sits on tall trees, keeping a sharp eye on its surroundings. With its dark brown feathers on top, white chest covered in dark spots, and fierce yellow eyes, it is easy to recognize. Like most birds of prey, the females are bigger than the males, and their wings can stretch out more than 8 feet. A true expert in hunting from the sky, the martial eagle has amazing vision, spotting prey from almost 2 miles away. It spends most of its time gliding high in the air, using warm air currents to stay up without wasting too much energy. When it sees a target, it dives at an incredible speed, hitting with such force that it can crush the skull or spine of its prey in an instant. These eagles mostly eat birds like guinea fowls and francolins, but they are also strong enough to take down animals as big as small antelopes, young warthogs, and even jackals. Sometimes they attack livestock, which has made them a target for farmers. Number 11. The Australian magpie. The Australian magpie is one of the most famous birds in Australia, not just for its beautiful songs, but also for its aggressive nature, especially when protecting its nest. Even though it shares a name with the European magpie, it is actually more closely related to butcherbirds. With its bold black and white feathers, sharp beak, and eerie yet lovely singing voice, this bird is a common sight in parks, open woodlands, and the countryside. But from the month of August to the month of October, during breeding season, these normally peaceful birds turn into fierce defenders, attacking anything they see as a threat. Most birds only fight off other animals that come too close, but Australian magpies take things much further. They will go after anything they think is dangerous, including humans. Male magpies are especially aggressive, diving at high speeds toward people walking or riding bikes, aiming for their heads, faces, and even eyes. Some attacks have led to serious injuries, including cuts, eye damage, and even concussions when people fall while trying to escape. Cyclists are often their favorite targets, which is why many wear helmets with spikes or paint fake eyes on their helmets to scare the birds away. In some places, warning signs are put up to let people know about swooping magpies nearby. These birds are also known for having sharp memories. They can remember faces and hold grudges, attacking the same people over and over while ignoring others. But they are not always aggressive. If someone treats them kindly, they can become friendly and even form bonds with humans. Number 10. The ostrich. The ostrich is the biggest and heaviest bird in the world, growing as tall as 9 feet and weighing up to 340 pounds. These flightless birds roam the open savannas and dry lands of Africa, but instead of flying away from danger, they rely on their powerful legs to run. When faced with a threat, an ostrich can sprint as fast as 43 miles per hour for short bursts and keep up a steady pace of about 30 miles per hour over longer distances. With sharp eyesight that helps them spot danger early, they are not easy prey for lions, cheetahs, or hyenas. Even though ostriches mostly eat plants like seeds, leaves, and roots, they are not picky and will eat insects, lizards, and even tiny rodents when they get the chance. Their digestive system is built for survival in tough environments, and they swallow small stones to help break down food inside their strong gizzard. While they are usually calm birds, they become highly protective of their territory during the breeding season and can be dangerous if they feel threatened. Their legs, designed for running, also serve as deadly weapons. With just one powerful kick, an ostrich can seriously injure or even unalive a lion. Their sharp claws, especially the large one on their inner toe that looks like a dagger, can cause deep wounds and serious harm to anything that threatens them. Though ostrich attacks on humans are rare, they do happen. These birds do not usually go after people, but they can become aggressive if they feel cornered, if someone gets too close to their nest, or during the breeding season when they are more territorial. Most of the time, an ostrich will try to run away rather than fight, but if they see no other option, they will defend themselves with powerful kicks and sharp claws. However, in most cases, once they realize a human is not a real threat, they back off and move on. Number 9. The giant petrel. The giant petrel is a massive seabird with a wingspan that can stretch as wide as 7 feet. These fierce birds live across the southern hemisphere, with one type, the southern giant petrel, mostly sticking to the cold Antarctic and subantarctic regions, while the northern giant petrel prefers slightly warmer waters north of Antarctica. Giant petrels are nature's cleanup crew, feeding mostly on dead animals. They often scavenge the bodies of whales, seals, and penguins, using their strong, hooked beaks to rip into carcasses. While they mostly eat what they find, they are also skilled hunters, going after squid, krill, and even weaker birds if the opportunity presents itself. They are not shy about fighting for food either, and will chase away smaller birds to claim a meal for themselves. One of their strangest and most disgusting defenses is their ability to vomit a terrible-smelling oil when they feel threatened. This stomach oil, made of partly digested fish and krill, smells awful and can stick to the feathers of other birds, making it hard for them to fly. Because of this nasty trick, people have given them the nickname stinkers. They are also known to follow fishing boats, looking for scraps of fish, but this habit can sometimes put them in danger when they accidentally get caught on baited hooks and drown. Number 8. Seagulls. Seagulls are some of the most well-known birds found along coastlines, lakes, and even in cities. With more than 50 different types spread across the world, these birds might seem harmless at first. However, their smart thinking, quick learning, and sometimes aggressive nature can make them more dangerous than people expect. Seagulls will eat almost anything, including fish, bugs, and even tiny animals, but they are best known for snatching food from humans. Seagulls also get very protective during nesting season. They like to build their nests on cliffs, rooftops, and other high spots. If they feel like their babies are in danger, they won't hesitate to attack. These birds have been known to dive bomb people, using their sharp beaks and claws to defend their nests. In some areas, warning signs are put up to let people know about aggressive nesting seagulls, especially in cities where the birds have gotten used to living around humans. With their persistence and intelligence, seagulls have learned how to survive just about anywhere, even far from their natural seaside homes. Number 7. The little shrike thrush. The little shrike thrush is a small bird that lives in Australia's thick rainforests and mangrove swamps. It might look harmless, but it is actually one of the few birds in the world that carries poison. Just like the pituhui from New Guinea, this bird has batrachotoxins, the same deadly poison found in certain frogs. But the bird doesn't make this toxin on its own. Instead, it gets it by eating special types of toxic beetles. Over time, the poison builds up in the bird's skin and feathers, making it dangerous to anything that tries to eat it. Even though the little shrike thrush is full of poison, it doesn't seem to be affected by it. But for any predator that dares to take a bite, the consequences can be serious. Batrachotoxin messes with the nervous system by blocking sodium channels, which can cause paralysis and, if the dose is strong enough, even death. There haven't been any reports of humans dying from touching this bird, but scientists who studied it experienced numbness and irritation when they handled it without protection. Scientists are still trying to figure out exactly how the little shrike thrush manages to live with such a dangerous toxin inside its body. Number 6. The peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon holds the record for being the fastest animal in the world, reaching speeds of more than 200 miles per hour when it dives to catch its prey. Unlike some birds of prey that sneak up on their targets, this falcon prefers to hunt while flying, using its sharp vision and incredible speed to chase down smaller birds. When flying normally, it moves at about 40 miles per hour, but when it spots a target, it speeds up to 65 miles per hour before going into its famous high-speed dive, called a stoop. You can find this falcon on every continent except Antarctica, living in all kinds of places, from seaside cliffs to tall buildings in busy cities. It has adapted well to urban life, hunting pigeons and other birds. Its vision is believed to be about 8 times stronger than a human's, meaning it can see prey from far away. Once it has its target in sight, it pulls in its wings and drops straight down, hitting with enough force to take out its prey in one blow. The peregrine falcon stands at about 1.5 feet tall and has a wingspan of around 3.5 feet. Its back is covered in slate gray feathers, and it has a unique black marking on its face. One of its coolest features is its beak, which has a special notch called a tomial tooth. This helps it break the spinal cords of its prey. Years ago, the species nearly disappeared because of pesticides, but thanks to conservation efforts, it has made an amazing comeback. Today, the peregrine falcon remains one of the most impressive hunters in the sky, with unmatched speed and accuracy. For today's subscriber pick, we've got a wild story about a golden eagle that did something unbelievable. Golden eagles are among the biggest birds of prey in the world. known for their incredible strength, sharp claws, and deadly hunting skills. They live in many places, including North America, Europe, and Asia, but they are especially famous in Central Asia, where people train them to help with hunting. These birds are so powerful that they can grab animals as big as deer, or even pull goats off cliffs, making them one of the top predators in their environment. In Kyrgyzstan, an 8-year-old girl found out just how strong these birds can be when a golden eagle attacked her near Lake Issyk-Kul. She had wandered into a restricted area where trained eagles were being shown, and one of them suddenly swooped down on her. Luckily, she only had minor injuries and needed just a few stitches, but experts said that if the eagle had been hunting, she might not have made it. Golden eagles have extremely sharp claws and strong beaks that can crush and tear through flesh. They've been caught on camera hunting foxes, grabbing sheep, and even worrying ranchers in Wyoming. Despite their scary hunting skills, they are also very protective parents, building huge nests and fiercely guarding their babies. Number 5. European quail. The European quail is a small bird that travels long distances and can be found in Europe, Western Asia, and Africa. People have enjoyed eating these birds for centuries because of their tasty meat. However, in rare cases, eating quail has caused a strange illness called coturnism, which makes muscles feel sore and can even lead to serious muscle damage. This condition happens when quails eat certain toxic plants during their long journeys. Scientists are not completely sure which toxin causes the problem, but some believe it might come from plants like hemlock or hellebore. Hemlock, in particular, is known to be very poisonous. It was even used in ancient times for executions. However, quails usually avoid hemlock, so it might not be the only cause. Another possible source of the toxin could be a plant called annual woundwort. Not all European quails are dangerous to eat. The problem seems to happen mostly in certain places and at certain times of the year. For example, quails that fly from Algeria to France in the spring have been linked to poisonings, while those traveling through the Nile Valley have been connected to cases in the fall. Outside of these migration seasons, quails are usually safe to eat. Number 4. The spur-winged goose. The spur-winged goose is a huge water bird found in the southern part of Africa. It is actually the biggest water bird on the continent. The males can grow as heavy as 10 kilograms, which is about 22 pounds, and their wings can stretch out as far as 2 meters, or about 6.5 feet. These birds have mostly black feathers with white spots on their wings, and they have a unique red patch of skin on their faces that stretches from their beaks to the tops of their heads. These geese live in all sorts of watery places, like lakes, rivers, swamps, and flooded areas. They eat a mix of plants and small creatures, from seeds and water plants to insects and tiny water animals. One of the most surprising things about their diet is that they eat blister beetles. These beetles make a strong poison called cantharidin, which can cause serious blisters when touched and can even be deadly if swallowed in large amounts. Unlike most animals, the spur-winged goose is not harmed by this poison. Instead, it stores the toxin in its body without getting sick. This makes the bird dangerous for predators or even people who might try to eat it. Cooking the meat does not remove the poison, and swallowing as little as 10 milligrams of cantharidin could be deadly for a person. Number 3. The great horned owl. The great horned owl is a powerful hunter found all over the Americas. It is known for being able to survive in all kinds of places, from thick forests to wide open deserts. This ability to live in different environments makes it one of the most adaptable birds out there. One of the things that makes this owl easy to recognize is the large feathered tufts on its head. Many people think these are its ears, but they are just part of its appearance. This owl is strong, even though it weighs only about 1 4/10 kilograms, or around 3 pounds. It can take down animals even bigger than itself. Its sharp talons are incredibly powerful and can grip with more than 130 newtons of force, which is almost 29 pounds of pressure. That is strong enough to break bones. This owl is not picky about what it eats. It hunts all sorts of animals, from small creatures like rabbits and rodents to much bigger ones, like skunks and raccoons. It has even been known to attack other birds of prey, such as hawks and ospreys, showing just how high it ranks in the world of birds. The great horned owl has incredible eyesight and excellent hearing, which helps it find food even when it is dark outside. It also has special feathers that let it fly without making much noise, so its prey does not hear it coming. Number 2. Crowned eagles. The crowned eagle is one of the strongest birds of prey in Africa, famous for its incredible hunting skills. It lives in thick forests and open woodlands across the southern part of the continent. This bird mainly hunts medium-sized animals, with monkeys making up about 4/5 of its meals in some areas. It also goes after small antelopes and animals like hyraxes. With its powerful grip, it can crush bones in an instant. This eagle has different ways of catching its food. It often waits quietly on a tree branch, watching and planning before suddenly attacking. Sometimes, a pair of these birds will work together. One makes noise to grab the prey's attention, while the other swoops in for the lethal blow. If the prey is too heavy to carry, the eagle will tear it apart and take it back to the nest in pieces. Although attacks on people do not happen often, there have been cases where these birds have gone after children. Fossils even suggest that long ago, similar birds may have hunted early humans. One example is the discovery of the Tong child remains, which showed evidence of being attacked by a bird. Number 1. The bald eagle. The bald eagle is one of the most famous and powerful birds in North America. It is easy to recognize with its bright white head, huge wings, and razor-sharp talons. These birds live near lakes, rivers, and coastal areas in the United States and Canada. Their favorite food is fish, but they are not picky eaters. They will steal meals from other birds and even eat dead animals when the opportunity arises. Bald eagles have some of the best eyesight in the animal kingdom. Their vision is several times sharper than a human's, allowing them to spot fish from hundreds of feet in the air. Once they see their target, they dive down at incredible speed and snatch it out of the water with their powerful grip. Seeing a bald eagle up close is amazing, but these birds are also incredibly strong and can be dangerous. They have been known to attack animals as big as deer, and although it is rare, there have even been cases where they went after small pets. One of the best examples of their strength was caught on camera in the state of Wisconsin. A bald eagle was filmed dragging a giant carp to shore after struggling to lift it out of the water. The fish was so heavy that the eagle had to use its wings to paddle through the water just to get it onto land. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.